Have you ever wondered what India would be like if Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose had become our first Prime Minister instead of Jawaharlal Nehru? Imagine a timeline where Netaji, a charismatic leader and one of the stalwarts of India's struggle for independence, took the reins of the newly independent nation. Known for his indomitable spirit and relentless pursuit of freedom, Bose was a revolutionary figure who inspired millions with his cry of "Give me blood, and I shall give you freedom." This, dear listeners, is the fascinating world of alternate history, a genre that allows us to reimagine the course of events had certain key incidents unfolded differently. In our case, it's the scenario where Bose, not Nehru, led India post-independence. So what would an India under Bose's leadership look like? Would his militant approach to freedom translate into his governance? Or would he adopt a more democratic style? So let's delve into this alternate universe and explore how India might have turned out under the leadership of Bose. To understand the potential impact of Bose's premiership, we first need to understand his ideologies and how they differed from Nehru's. Now, let's delve into the ideological differences between these two influential figures. Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru both were prominent leaders, yet their ideologies were poles apart. It's like comparing the North and South poles, both vital yet starkly different. Bose was a staunch nationalist and socialist. His vision for India was of a self-reliant nation, free not only from colonial rule, but also from economic dependence on other nations. He envisioned a country that prioritized its own indigenous industries, creating employment and wealth within its own borders. In contrast, Nehru advocated democratic socialism. He saw a future where India would balance the scales of social justice through state intervention, yet maintain a democratic framework where individual rights were protected. Furthermore, Bose was a firm believer in the power of a strong military. He believed that a robust defense was essential for a nation to maintain its sovereignty and protect its people. His experiences leading the Indian National Army during World War II had a profound impact on his views. Conversely, Nehru, influenced by his close association with Mahatma Gandhi, was a proponent of pacifism and international diplomacy. He saw wars as destructive and futile, believing that conflicts should be resolved through diplomatic negotiations rather than military action. The ideologies of Bose and Nehru were reflective of their own personal journeys and experiences. While Bose's ideologies were influenced by his experiences of fighting on the front lines, Nehru's ideologies were shaped by his experiences as a statesman, interacting with leaders from across the world. These contrasting ideologies would have undoubtedly led to different paths for India. With Bose, India might have taken a more assertive stance on the global stage and focused on economic self-reliance. On the other hand, under Nehru's leadership, India strived for a democratic society and sought peaceful resolutions to conflicts. These fundamental differences in ideologies would have certainly shaped India's path in a unique way. Now let's imagine how these ideological differences might have influenced policy-making under Bose's leadership. Diving right in, one thing that's certain is that Bose's focus on military strength would have been a key driver in his policy-making. He understood the importance of a robust military in safeguarding the nation's sovereignty and interests. Therefore, it's reasonable to assume that under his leadership, India would have invested significantly more in its military capabilities. This could have led to the establishment of a more self-reliant and technologically advanced defense system, making India a formidable force in the region. Parallelly, Bose's emphasis on industrial growth would have likely led to policies promoting self-sustenance and economic independence. This could have resulted in a massive transformation of the Indian economy from being predominantly agrarian to being a major industrial power. Such a shift would have been instrumental in creating millions of jobs, boosting the economy and improving the standard of living of the masses. On the international front, Bose's pragmatic approach would have steered India away from its policy of non-alignment. Instead, we might have seen India forging strategic alliances with powers that shared its interests. This would have given India a greater say in global affairs, enhancing its geopolitical influence and contributing to its image as a global power. However, such a shift in foreign policy would have had its share of challenges. Balancing the nation's interests while maintaining cordial relations with all global powers could have been a diplomatic tightrope walk. But given Bose's leadership skills and strategic acumen, it's conceivable that he would have navigated these complexities effectively. In the realm of national security, the emphasis on military strength and strategic alliances could have deterred potential aggression and ensured peace and stability. However, it would have also necessitated a vigilant approach to safeguard against any covert threats. These policy changes would have not only transformed India's domestic landscape, but also its standing on the global stage. Finally, let's speculate on the legacy that Bose's leadership might have left behind. Imagine an India where the national identity is shaped by Bose's ideals of unity and self-reliance. His vision for an independent India was not merely political, but a dream of an India standing tall on the global stage. The legacy of Bose's leadership could have fostered a stronger sense of nationalism among the citizens. His charismatic personality and his unwavering dedication to the cause of freedom might have inspired a new generation of leaders. Moreover, Bose's leadership could have potentially altered the course of India's political history. His radical approach and his willingness to challenge the status quo might have pushed India towards a more proactive role in international affairs. Bose's leadership style, grounded in a deep love for his country and a fearless pursuit of its independence, could have shaped the nation's destiny in unimaginable ways. Indeed, the legacy of Bose's leadership could have been profoundly transformative, marking a stark departure from the path India has actually taken. While it's fascinating to speculate about this alternate history, we must remember that it's just that, speculation. We have journeyed through the realm of what-ifs, exploring how different India might have been had Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose become its first Prime Minister. We talked about his ideological differences with Nehru and wondered about the potential impact on policymaking under his leadership. We even delved into the legacy that could have been left behind by Bose. But let's not forget, history as we know it is filled with lessons to be learned, patterns to be observed, and stories to be told. It's essential to understand our actual history, to learn from it, and to use it as a foundation to shape our future. And while the course of history took a different turn, what we know for sure is that both Bose and Nehru played crucial roles in shaping India's destiny, and their contributions will always be remembered.